Hey everybody, and welcome to another spontaneous toy review here at Toy Wizards. That's toy-wizards.com. I'm your host, Scott Zillner, and today we've got Power Ranger Zeo Megazord. This is part of a new line by the team at Hasbro to give us Megazords in a super articulated style. This is not the fully transforming version. It's not a reissue. This is a brand new Hasbro mold that gives you the robot in super articulation. They want it to be posable and fun for your shelf. Now, some people are like, oh, it doesn't combine, so I don't want it. You can get the old combiner. They might make a new combiner, but this one is meant to be more of a posable action figure and a large scale. And it's the first one of this series. There will be more made like this, and it just came in literally like the other day. So I cannot wait to cover it. Been waiting patiently since we announced that these were coming out, and let's go over the toy. I mean,
hold on, Scott. We're not done here yet. This is Lauren Stone with Toy Wizards. That's toy-wizards.com, here to impede on your spontaneous toy review with an unconventional toy review, because I want to make sure that I have the opportunity to look at this Megazord also. But what we have today is not a cute little toy. The new Power Rangers Zeo Megazord by Hasbro is awesome, dude. Like, and I say it like that because I did not expect this quality from it. I did not expect to see something this nice.
Zeo Megazord has a very big box. It does not have a separate branding on it. So it doesn't say Lightning, doesn't say superposable version. It just says Zeo Megazord, Power Ranger Zeo.
Background behind the reason for this dual review is because when that new Mighty Morphin Megazord came out, the one that cost about $45 like Scott was saying, I was really bummed that I didn't get a chance to review it as well. We had the written review by Ricky, we had the video review by Scott, and that kind of covered it all, even though I thought that they were a little bit rough on it because I think it's a cute little toy.
It does come with all the helmets that fit onto the different aspects of the Megazord, so you can change the way that he looks with the different helmets. Being in a big blue box, it's actually kind of reminiscent of older toys of this fashion. They would just have a box with a big Megazord on it. You knew what it was, you're gonna buy it. I did.
Speaking of the box, we went over it a little bit, but I'm just gonna do the full body turnaround. Ooh, it's classy looking, and I really do think this box is reminiscent of the original packaging, but it's not a replica. It's definitely a nod, which I appreciate.
Coming out of the box, it's actually very simple. He is kind of in his own little self-protected box with some trays and a lot of choice ties.
I do have to agree with Scott 100% that it's really cool that the way the toy came packaged in the tray with everything just ready to go. In spite of its twist ties, it was really easy to get out of the box.
Man, I've got some clippers here. Let's see if we can clip him free.
Power Rangers!
I want to say one kudos to them right off the bat. There is a small plastic protector over the Sphinx head so he does not get rub damage while he's in the box. Thank you. That's fantastic. That little bit there shows somebody in production was caring about you and was protecting the toy.
And like, for real, I am overwhelmed by seeing this toy. In the early promotional pictures, it was these two shoulder pieces where I was just like, I can like smell that cheapy gold thin Hasbro plastic from here, and to be honest, that's what this is. So that's my only criticism of this toy, is I saw what this looked like in the pictures, and it feels exactly like I knew it was going to.
He comes out relatively easy from there. Then the tray has all of his goodies, And then we still have the wings stuck back in there with a couple more twist ties. Let's see if I can get those free.
Look how this thing can move. It's got really nice tight sockets, and it's got really great articulation everywhere. And I really like the way that the hands feel. There's something sort of rubbery about them. Like, they feel, it sounds so dumb, but it sounds like they're fingertips. These are legitimate fingertips. Whoops.
Done and done. Boom. It's pretty easy. I'm just gonna pop those wings on, and I really like the winged look right there. And here's my first chance to kind of move them around a little bit. Move my mustache a little bit. And this is, look at those knee joints. He is very, very big and posable.
One of my favorite things about certain Megazords, and it happens primarily like from Zeo, Lost Galaxy, in space, is like these chunky legs, which are super articulated in this case. But I really love Megazords with this kind of chunky leg aesthetic.
This is nice. I like this.
The Egyptian gimmick that's going on with Zeo with the costumes and the Megazord, like, that's all fun. I think it's super cool. But yeah, the gloss and the paint, like, and the size of this mother.
As you remember, we didn't get it as much in the American version, but depending on what they were doing, the different Rangers had different heads that would go out and go on to the Megazord to give them different powers. And that happened a lot in the Japanese show, not so much in the American show.
Where I wasn't completely sold at first was this. Okay, this was $70. And again, that Mighty Morphin put it together toy, very much a toy, Megazord was about $45 to $50. So I'm like, this is a $20 difference. What can you do for me in $20? Considering, like, money doesn't go places anymore as much. But then you think of what McFarlane's cranking out for $20, and you think about, you know, like the G.I. Joe Classified and Power Ranger Lightning, and you see what Hasbro's still doing for $20, so it kind of humbles you and makes you go, oh, no, we can still get quality for only $20 more.
Boom. All right, so all the heads come off. Now, there was a lot of complaints early on that this head was wrong. That's because it is just supposed to be right there as like a belt buckle. The regular head goes ahead and fits on top of it. Boom, full power. Take that off. We got the shooting head. I just thought it was kind of stupid. Done. Double shooting head. Lost it.
I brought out two of my favorite Megazords from my collection to sort of compare. My chunkiest and my only Japanese one, because I wanted to put it next to a vintage chunky, and I want to put it next to a Japanese just to kind of like see where we are. I'm gonna just put that down a little bit. You stand right there. You stand.
I did like that head on it a lot as the Zeo Megazord. I kind of liked the whole gold center bit there. That always worked for me.
You can hear it rattling. You can hear the vintage rattling. We have the Lost Galaxy Megazord, which again is absolutely one of my favorites because I love the big old crown. And I love, again, the big chunky legs and this. The sword is too mighty.
Heads come off. They're a soft plastic, so they come on and off the Megazord really easy. And there's the red head, the command head. Let's go ahead and put that sword into his hand. Fine. Nice and easy. Boom!
So again, you know, the new one from Hasbro does not have the old rattle of the vintage, but I just wanted to put them together just so you can, again, see the chunkiness of the legs and how much love and homage is in there. And I think it works.
Now, again, people like, oh, it doesn't come apart. I don't want it.
clearly this one is much taller, which is something that's reminiscent of the Japanese one that I'm going to show off as well.
This is what I want out of a robot toy. I want it to be about that big. That's a nice scale. It really is. It's a nice scale. It's slimmed down into proportions for the robot mode, fine. It's got articulation where it needs it. It even has some big boot moving there. Its legs rotate and hip. All of that works. Knocked off his belt buckle with my hand. Sorry. Boom. This is working. Shoulder pads, they're on there. Head moves around only side to side. There's no ball joint there, and I felt they could have given us a ball joint. When you're making that head just go side to side, it's nothing to make a ball joint. So right there, they could have made that a tiny bit better, but they didn't.
Because the Japanese Megazords are, I mean, the Bandai ones are just so much better than the American ones, and I hate to be that person because I love my chunky American Megazords, but yeah, the comparison is just insane. So he's got wheels, old school, yeah, wheels, so he can do that. Very, very cool.
There is a lot of room on this if you've got Gundam markers to really go to town and up that a little bit. Absolutely. But all in all, dude, this thing's got some moves.
I just love this aesthetic, and I'm so glad that Hasbro is tapping into it, and that they didn't start with Mighty Morphin. That's, you know, big kudos. It's hard. Mighty Morphin is safe, and it's difficult for a lot of companies to like not just Mighty Morphin.
I'm happy with that. Yeah.
All the time. So good job. If you can give me the Power Rangers, I call it the Power Rangers Soundwave, the In Space Megazord. Yeah, I can get one of these. Those like this.
This is nice. This is what I want out of a Megazord. Absolutely.
I will collect all of these. I'm not even kidding you. I'm gonna have them all. I love this.
Now, notably, compared to the Mighty Morphin Megazord we just got, he's nowhere near this big. Nowhere near. And that's an order of price point. This thing is like $70, like $64.99, and the Megazord's like $45. So that price difference is this much in height and different amounts of tooling.
Beautiful.
The gold is still your plastic gold, but it's looking okay. There is a lot of little detail here that you could easily put in with the Gundam marker if you wanted to go to town. Remember, don't use the black marker, use the brown marker. And use the black on metal, and use the brown on any of the other lesser colors, and it comes out looking nicer.
So here is my only Japanese Megazord. It's the Gokaiger, the Super Mega Force, the pirate season. These are all trucks, cars. So it's like cars or animals. So it's a car season on this one.
Sword is not chrome, but it's a plastic silver, which it's safety. And they have to make these things safe now these days. There's a lot of new rules about making toys.
Most notable is, of course, the super shiny plastic, the quality, the colors. Here in America, we cannot nail Power Ranger pink. There's just something about us and our paint that we don't do it. We don't do it right. In American toys, it's always more bubblegum, and this is always more like baby pink. And I don't even know about anything about colors. Like, I am not a color theorist, and I can still always see the difference between like Japanese pink and American pink, always most apparent in Mighty Morphin, going back.
The head is a little small, and it's supposed to be. That's how it's really supposed to look, and that gives you extra scale for having such a big toy. Moving him around, he's got so much action figure articulation for a big robot, and when we normally get a big robot, we don't have that articulation. And this is where I do like having that articulation.
So with this, the American one is still bigger, or this new Hasbro American one is still bigger. But I feel like they're borrowing in a good way from sort of the aesthetic of this. Again, you know, the Japanese gold color is just nicer than this Hasbro gold. I feel like Bandai just nails it better there. But we have the chunkiness of the legs still. And again, I think that's where they're really succeeding. Like, I don't mean to out myself as as someone who's obsessed with the gams, but I'm just really impressed by just the quality and the aesthetics. And again, you know, we take American chunky vintage, and then we have more premium Japanese, and I feel like those sensibilities were correctly mixed together to produce this new Zeo Megazord.
I don't need them to come into smaller robots. I'm never going to use them as that. I'm going to put this on a shelf. And for that purpose, this robot works really well.
So if Hasbro's taking requests, oh my God, if they HasLab crowdfund like the next one, and we get to choose what it is or something like that, I would lose my flopping mind.
There's nowhere really like to put on the extra heads. You kind of have to have them off to the side. If you want to, you know, make any of your other modes, you just got to have the heads standing by. I never ever use the bullhead, but it doesn't look bad. It's not bad.
Hopeful for more of these. A new glass case would have to come because I will be overwhelmed and broke, but that's what's going to happen next because I love my Megazords and I need them all and they're beautiful.
Boom! This is a fantastic Megazord by Hasbro. And that's an interesting thing. This is kind of like what we're going to get in the future. We're going to have the articulated, or we're going to have a smaller combiner that is more for playtime. And this is for more, it is play and collectible. The other one's for smaller kids, and this is for smaller kids to bigger kids. Like us.
So this one gets a big yes from me. I'm totally into the articulation. I think the paint is awesome. I think they nailed it with the helmets, all the designs, everything fits together really nicely. And so I'm really excited to see more from this line. So back to you, Scott.
I'm impressed with this. I like this. So there's nothing I like more than big robots and big monsters. I like watching robots fight big monsters, and this is a big robot that can fight some monsters. Like, who else can have him fight? Look at that. Cygor, you know, brand new row beast here from Hagar, is gonna fight him. I know that's Voltron, but I still combine all those universes together. That's a good size for a monster that the, you know, Power Rangers are gonna have to fight. This works. You can still get these at Walmart right now too. This is like 20 bucks, seriously. You know, you spend the 75 bucks for this, 60, 75 bucks. Boom, go to Walmart, 20 bucks, get this, and you gotta fight. This is in scale to fight your Megazord. That's awesome. You know, I watched Power Rangers before it was Power Rangers. It was, you know, it was a Super Sentai television that I could get a channel from the Bay Area. And I watched it for the robot versus monster fights. I have a monster suit right here, right there. I mean, seriously, let's see if we can move this. Yeah, see? Right there.
You gotta keep that head near your belt line, right?
Scale. They are not in scale. If you look at these two, quite a bit difference. Now, for my money, I will pay the extra money and have the toy this big and articulated every day over this dude. Absolutely. That's fantastic. Like, this is well worth your money. This is questionable. Like, is this any better than your Legacy version? No. Did we get a Legacy version? Look at this. This is nice. I like this.
Make sure you visit us at toy-wizards.com for daily toy news, reviews, articles, listicles, snarticles, editorials, opinion pieces, and everything you could want from the toy world. Be safe, be good, have fun, collect, and I will see you soon, okay? Bye.
This is a nice piece.
And let the power protect you.